4 days to the second edition of Joy News Impact Makers Award. Good evening and welcome to News 90 in the next 45 minutes.
We are being affected because my wife is seriously sick and there's no doctor.
Looking at my mom's condition, we can't go home. Like we are staying at Obuasi, we can't go home and come back.
Oncology department of the Oncology Teaching Hospital continues to turn away referral cancer patients, following months of complaints about broken down equipment, leaving patients stranded and anxious about their health prospects.
We are awaiting the supplier to indicate the receipt of the letters of credit. The assurance that they gave us was that once their partner banks notified them about the receipt of the letters of credit, they only need 3 days to airlift to us because they are sending it to us by DHL, by courier.
We have the very latest as the health minister promises an immediate intervention.
I heard the announcement today. I've not had briefing on the details. But my attitude is that every conflict or disagreement can be resolved. All we have to do is to pay attention and work on it. That's all I'll say for now.
Also tonight, minority bloc laying of legislative instrument to regulate the pricing of cement products in Ghana.
There is a reason for the pre-laying, and this House by convention has agreed that the subsidiary legislations, particularly in the form of legislative instrument and constitutional instrument, must go through pre-laying.
Also tonight, NDC flag bearer John Mahama revised promise to grant amnesty to convicted illegal small-scale miners as a spokesperson questions why they should languish in jail while politically connected individuals involved in Galamsey are not being prosecuted.
But it's the conversation that we had in the 2020 election.
Yeah, so I'm asking whether in 2024...
Personally, I think that if people are being banded together and thrown into prison without necessarily going before the law.
And in business, bilateral creditors to review terms for Eurobond debt restructuring as they move to ensure there's fair treatment for all creditors.
And in sports, the National Sports Authority denies authorizing the use of the newly constructed Boteman Sports Complex for religious activities after some University of Ghana students were seen holding a church service there.
And 5 persons killed, part of parliament set ablaze, sharp drop in internet availability and massive destruction of properties following weeks of protests over a financial bill that proposes tax rises in Kenya. And we have the very latest from the National Science and Maths Quiz for today. And now let's meet the freshest Alaji who is pushing for recognition in Parliament.
Who is Pempe? I want to ask, who is Pempe? We are the...
That's for the information of the House. The records would accordingly, Mr. Clark, should reflect the new names. Al-Hajj, you should make sure that it's properly reflected.
That and more is coming up tonight here on News Night. Yeah, you want to join us?
I'm waiting for the identity of this very well-known popular MP.
I'll tell you all about it.
Can't wait.
Stay with us. You want to join us with your thoughts and comments? It's via WhatsApp 055-1111-997. I am MFR.
My name is Evan Spencer. Details of today's.
Many thanks for staying with us here on Joy 99.7 FM. This is News Night. I am MFR. We're doing this with Evan Spencer. Let's start from the Ashanti region.
Because my wife is seriously sick and there's no doctor.
Looking at my mom's condition, we can't go home. Like we are staying at Obuasi, we can't go home and come back.
Sounds of frustrated relatives of referral cancer patients at the Oncology Teaching Hospital after they were turned away today by the hospital because doctors at the oncology department have shut down the department because of broken down equipment. The linear accelerator system used for radiotherapy services has been malfunctioning since October 2023, adversely impeding the diagnosis and treatment of cancer cases.
Well, today we've seen that the situation has left cancer patients stranded and anxious about their health prospects while grappling with emotional turmoil brought about by the delays in receiving the much-needed care. First, Nanat Bwachiyadom visited the hospital and let's hear what he found.
Linear accelerators are used to treat cancer and most commonly used for external beam radiation treatments. The machine works by speeding up electrons to deliver therapeutic X-rays or electrons to a patient's tumor. However, the machine has been malfunctioning since October 2023, adversely impeding the diagnosis and treatment of cancer cases. According to management of the Komfo Teaching Hospital, the machine has been repaired but remains non-operational due to delayed access to a water phantom needed to calibrate the system. Dr. Yao Labi is the Deputy Medical Director at KATH.
This machine was down for some time, for some months. It needed a part. The part was procured and installed. Now, for some machines, you need to do what we call calibration. Because when you are going to give radiation to people, you need to know how much you are giving. So there's something we call a phantom, water phantom. And this phantom is not manufactured in Ghana or anywhere in Africa. It's something that you place an order for. So, and because it costs so much money, you will need banks to communicate with each other.
Dr. Labi says the strike is unfortunate considering efforts to secure a new machine.
Before the product is put on an airplane and flown to Ghana, all that contributes to make it difficult for you to say that on this specific date the product will arrive, and that has been difficult for us. It is unfortunate that our colleagues, a section of our colleagues in oncology, have taken this action.
Some relatives of cancer patients express their frustration and concerns.
It is affecting us. We are being affected because my wife is seriously sick and there's no doctor taking care of him. There's no doctor. So we are being affected.
They are saying their machine is not working. And looking at my mom's condition, we can't go home. Like, we are staying at Obuasi, we can't go home and come back again. Like, it's a whole lot, so they should do something about it for us.
I mean, looking at the condition of your mom, she's even struggling to get inside the car.
Yeah, it's not helping.
It remains unclear when the doctors will return to work. For Joy News, Nana Boache Dankwe Yadom, Kumasi.
Well, this is happening at the time when the Health Minister, Bernard Okoboy, is touring the Ashanti region, and I want to bring in Nana Yaujima, who has been with him today. Nana, what has he been saying about this? Was he there at Komfo himself?
Unfortunately, at the time that the news broke, the minister was on his way to the Bekwai Municipal Hospital, so he was unable to come back to Komfo or come back to Kumasi and see how things are going at the Komfo Teaching Hospital. But per his itinerary, it's possible that tomorrow he will be visiting the mother and baby unit at the Komfo Teaching Hospital. But in an interview, he said he has heard about the situation and necessary steps will be taken to ensure that the issue is resolved.
A few weeks ago, medical laboratory staff went on strike. We used the lay-down structures to resolve it. Today, as we speak, they've gone back to work. This was about a week or two ago. Conflicts or disagreements sometimes are part of the human nature or institution. Our job is to resolve them. All I'll say is that we will continue to work to resolve these conflicts. I heard the announcement today. I've not had briefing on the details. But my attitude is that every conflict or disagreement can be resolved. All we have to do is to pay attention and work on it. That's all I'll say for now.
Well, we can speak now to Kwame Frimpong, the head of public affairs at the Komfo Teaching Hospital. Dr. Pa Kwesi Abedu is Ashanti Regional Ghana Medical Association president, also joins us. Mr. Frimpong, thanks for your time here on Newsnight. What's the situation tonight? Has anything changed? Hello, Mr. Frimpong, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes. Has anything changed since we last spoke to you today?
No, we have only sent a reminder to our bankers to notify the intermediary bank of the suppliers about the establishment of the letter of credit so that it can deliver on its pledge to send us the equipment within 3 days after the notification.
So let me get this straight. This is about repairing the equipment you currently have for the cancer treatment. This is about repairing the equipment you have for cancer treatment at the facility. The broken equipment.
Yes, please, the equipment has been repaired.
Okay.
You know, we went through getting the PPA approval for sourcing contract to the company that is responsible for maintaining it. This was successfully secured. Management then went ahead to sign a contract with the company, that's the plant preventive maintenance contract, at the cost of $10,000. That was successfully executed. The company sent down its engineers to come and repair the equipment. The equipment itself has been repaired. Unfortunately, when they finished repairing, they were going to calibrate it to ensure that it is safe to use on patients. That was detected that a phantom machine, which is used for the calibration of the LINAC equipment, was also damaged. And so management had to go through the whole procurement cycle to get that equipment. Prior to that, we had tried to get our counterparts from Kolebu to see if they can loan us their equipment. Unfortunately, because of the dedicated nature of that equipment, they could not loan it to us. So we have no option to go through the procurement of a new one. It was not even in our budget because it was not anticipated that it would be damaged in the course of the year. And management managed to find $110,000. That's how management was committed to resolving this issue. It managed to mobilize $110,000 to establish a letter of credit to get a new equipment. So management has shown a lot of commitment in this area. And that's why we are surprised that our doctors should put down their tools. Because every step of the way we have involved them, there have been a series of engagements and meetings with them, directly between them and management, between the office of the medical director and the doctors concerned. And even between their management and the doctors, what is even baffling is that the main technical person helping management to coordinate all these arrangements for a new water phantom is the chief medical physicist of that department. He is in the email that we received from the suppliers with regards to all the arrangements.
So the doctors are aware of the efforts that management had done to try and fix this problem. How much are we talking about? How much would it cost us to?
$110,000.
No,
that's how much it's going to cost us. Okay. And we pay that money. I don't know what else management what else management can do in this instance.
So
everything that management is supposed to do, it has done.
Okay, so
right from the
management raised
sourcing approval,
yes,
to the release of funds for this equipment.
Yes, Mr. Frimpong, so the management raised $110,000.
Yes.
Okay, and is that the cost of the replacement?
The water phantom. That's the cost of the water phantom.
Okay, so when is it? If the money is available, when is it going to be available for?
If you release the money, the letters of credit have been established. You cannot establish the letters of credit if you don't have the money released to the bank. That is doing the letters of credit.
Okay.
And the evidence has been shown to them.
Okay. So you've released the money now?
Evans, I'm saying that the letters of credit has been established, and the letters of credit cannot be established if you, the buyer, or the purchaser, you have not made the money available for the establishment of the letters of credit.
So that is what has delayed.
Show them the evidence that letters of credit has been established because management has made available $110,000. This was not even part of our budget for 2024. And yet management are trying to mobilize this money to get this equipment. And the evidence is shown to them. The HOD has been involved in this arrangement. Their chief medical physicist has been involved in this, and they know it.
And let me bring in Dr. Parkwesi Bedu, the Central Regional GMA President, joins us. Doc, so you've had the interventions they've made. The letter of credit has now been established. Are you ready to get your members back to work?
Yeah, so Evans, good evening. Yes, I've been listening to Kwame, and I think this is just an unfortunate incident, and basically I think, yes, enthusiasm. It shows you doctors are concerned about the patient we take care of, not just everything about ourselves. Yes, so yesterday we were called to this situation. Before then, we were aware. And we went to verify. In fact, myself, together with Dr. Michael Lee, who is the chairman of the Oncology Doctors Association, after we met with management, we went to the engineer who is spearheading this. And the LC, letter of credit, has been raised. We spoke with the rep of the company in Bulgaria, who also confirmed this one. And based on this, we wanted to meet our colleagues. And in fact, yesterday we met them. And I think this is unfortunate and it will be resolved soon.
Okay.
I think that's what I would say.
So when you say soon,
yes,
I mean, lives are at stake here.
Yeah.
How soon is this?
Evans, soon, not the Jesus Christ coming soon and it's over 2,000 years. This soon will be soon.
Tomorrow?
As I indicated, I think this is just misunderstanding. Yes, I can attest to everything the PRO indicated.
So the doctors are back tomorrow.
We
then?
are taking steps to resolve it.
Yeah, okay. The doctors are back tomorrow?
Evans, this soon, as I indicated, it's not a Jesus coming soon. This soon will be soon. So
I asked that obviously because for people listening to us right now who need that service, they want to hear you give them a fair timeline so they can rush and get the urgent care they need. Lives are at stake here. So if you can narrow down what the soon means, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, a week from now.
Evans will be. In fact, I was operating in theater. I just finished. My doctors wanted to see. I think they called about 4 hours ago, but the procedure took about 6 hours. I just finished. I was about calling them to find out what their decision is when the call came in. So I sent them a message. I'll be meeting them at 8 p.m. today. And so, as I indicated, soon will be soon, but I can't speak. We are representing people, and we have to be sensitive to the plight of the patient, the doctors, and then everybody involved. So let me talk to them. As I indicated, they called back. I mean, my constituents called back. That was about 4 or 5 hours ago. I couldn't pick because I was operating. And I cannot issue a statement, give you a definite answer that tomorrow morning or the day before. But this, believe me, we will resolve it soon.
Well, Dr. Bedu, briefly though, just before we let you off, so listening to you, you mentioned that you agree with everything that Mr. Frimpong has been saying. Do you then agree that the action taken by your colleagues at the oncology department was unjustified?
I indicated we verified. And as I also indicated, I think there has been an issue of either miscommunication or mistrust. So yesterday we had to take the trouble of verifying with the supplier from Bulgaria, who indicated that they have been told that the intermediary bank, and we needed to use an intermediary bank. So Fidelity Bank used an intermediary bank. So that was done on Wednesday from what we were told. They are waiting for the intermediary bank to confirm, that yes, an LC has been raised. So they will then inform the factory. In fact, they've informed the factory that thing is there. Once they get the money or the LC, I don't know much about this, they will send the thing down. So I cannot say this is unjustifiable. As I said, this is a misunderstanding which we are resolving.
Unfortunately, patients had to suffer for that kind of misunderstanding and miscommunication. That's the GMA president for the Ashanti region.
Well, if you're looking forward to building your dream home, there's one place you want to be at the EcoBank Habitat Fair. It's coming up this weekend. But there's also something happening in Parliament you also need to pay attention to because there's a debate right now about a law that will regulate the pricing of cement. The minority in Parliament, they've blocked the laying of this legislative instrument from the Trade and Industry Minister that would ensure that prices of cement very predictable. You can go and get one if you really want to build, like MFA is currently doing, and we'll be heading to the EcoBank Habitat Fair to get even more materials for this. And you'll recall, MFA, that a few weeks back, the Trade Minister, Katie Hammond, directed the cement manufacturers to reverse the decision to hike prices. This was the heat of the depreciation of the cedi. Now, that decision was rejected by the manufacturers and the AGI. The minister's efforts now to get backing of law is also facing fierce opposition in Parliament.
Well, the NDC MPs are demanding that the LI goes through pre-laying before finally being laid on the floor. More from the NDC MP shortly, but the majority leader, Alexander Afenyomarkin, says the NDC's insistence on pre-laying every single LI is alien to the Constitution.
Mr. Speaker, this issue of if an instrument and the pre-laying would mean that we should engage the same committee to look at it before it is laid. Mr. Speaker, it adds up to nothing. In any event, any matter arising thereto can still be resolved, and when the document is properly before the committee will be seized with jurisdiction only if we lay and a referral made. Mr. Speaker, just for the avoidance of doubt, Article 11C. I will get there. I will get there. I will get there. With respect, I will get there. But let's state what the law says. And if we want to, because you see, Mr. Speaker, today you think that it's a comfortable route to use. But no, I've defined it, Mr. Speaker. I've been in this house not too long, but long enough to know some of the practices and conventions of the house. It is only constitutional instrument, especially from the Electoral Commission. I was here in this house, Mr. Speaker, in 2014, 2015, 2016. Not a single CI of the EC was pre-laid.
Let me bring in my parliamentary correspondent now, joins us on the line. Apart from the insistence on pre-laying the regulation, are they opposed to the substance of the law itself, Kweku?
Well, it appears a number of MPs do not even have an idea what exactly is in this detail, particularly because we know that when it comes to CIs and LIs, as soon as they are laid, they become law in 21 sitting days, whether or not MPs like it or not, unless they can marshal 2/3 of all members of parliament to rail against it and vote against it. It is for this reason that the minority say, put this before the subsidiary legislative committee, let them study through it, get the minister to also answer some questions before they can do that. Bernard Ahiafo has been leading this crusade on behalf of the minority on the floor.
Mr. Speaker, there is a reason for the pre-laying. And this House by convention has agreed that the subsidiary legislations, particularly in the form of legislative instrument and constitutional instrument, must go through pre-laying. It is all the constitutional imperative in Article 11(7) to the effect that when the document is laid, you can't even cross T or change a dot unless you have 2/3 majority to annul it. Mr. Speaker, we all know this is a delegated function, subsidiary legislation. Mr. Speaker, the Supreme Court in various cases upheld that once the document is laid, you can't do anything about it until you have 2/3 majority to annul it.
And that's just a bit of the debate in Parliament on this particular matter. Let's bring in Dr. Dosing Amwa, is the CEO of the Chamber of Cement Manufacturers, joins us now. Thank you, Doc, for your time here on Newsnight. Where do you stand on this proposed legislation?
Good evening, sir. Is the question directed to me?
Yes, please, Dr. Dosing Amwa.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything. You have actually made me aware of a legislative instrument which was attempted to be passed in Parliament. And none of our members, I represent, that is the chamber represent all the cement manufacturers in Ghana. We're talking about 12, 13 manufacturers. It is a chamber, and for that matter, association. What you are telling me now this evening, speaking confidently and on behalf of the members, is that we are not aware of any such instrument. Absolutely not aware.
Okay.
I can't even tell you what is the content unless you brief me. What is it? What is the minister up to? I don't understand. I can't even follow it.
At least now you've heard you have the voices from Parliament. There's a debate there about laying this legislative instrument. Now that you know it's something that the minister is pushing, what is your approach going to be?
Please, what is he pushing? I'm sorry, please take your time and let me know. I don't want to comment on something that I am not privy to, which I don't even know. I know of a directive that some time ago, about 3 weeks, a month,
which
that the
you
minister...
fought. Which you fought. Yeah, which you didn't like. Which that directive that you rejected.
Okay, is it the same directive that he wants a legislative instrument?
This LI will regulate the pricing of cement on the market.
Oh, this is news to us. Unfortunately, like I said, we don't know anything about it. And with my common knowledge in legislative instrument, don't you involve stakeholders? Before it gets to Parliament, don't you involve stakeholders in, the process?
I mean, but we must certainly regulate the prices of cement, should we not? I mean, considering how erratic the prices have become on the market, everybody's imposing their own price. Is it time to do that?
Absolutely. I mean, the point is, why is the minister avoiding or just running away for from discussions. Previously our position, has been that these prices of cement, the increase of prices of cement, it is not done in a vacuum. It is not done just you wake up in the morning and you do it. It is as a result of a negative trend in the economy, which is precipitating or warranting such increases. And that is the issue. And like I said earlier time, what is happening now with cement prices is just because of the cedi rapid and consistently depreciating of the cedi against the foreign currencies.
I take it then that if you're consulted, since you say you haven't been, this is a legislation you oppose.
Absolutely. Because now that I've heard about this, it's something that will not work. Because knowing very well that, cement prices increases really occur because of certain reasons. You're talking about production costs that actually result in prices, retail prices. So if the production cost, what really causes high production cost is not resolved, how do you regulate it?
Thank you very much. And that there is the CEO of the Chamber of Cement Manufacturers, Dr. Dosingamo, there sharing his thoughts on the proposed legislative instrument that the trade minister attempted to put before the House today. I want to hear your thoughts on this particular matter. Send us your messages on WhatsApp 055-1111-997. And George Afe is joining me. Hello, George. This is an interesting one. The minister tried with a directive. It did not work. Now he's gone to Parliament.
And I remember there was a committee that was put together, or an industry committee that was put together to also engage these manufacturers. It appears there wasn't any progress on that one and has gotten to this extent. Some will say that in this era of economic management, do you want to go into price control? Because even it's more of a major setback. I mean, fix the underlying factors that are pushing or causing this, and you would have the prices of cement products go down. You don't need to intervene in the market.
Will they, though?
If we believe in the argument of forces of demand and supply dictating the pace.
What do you have in the headline, George?
Well, Evans, bilateral creditors to review terms for Eurobond debt restructuring as they move to ensure that this is in line with fair treatment for all creditors. And manufacturing giant Unilever, optimistic economy picking up strongly and positive impact on its operations. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, bilateral creditors are set to review terms agreed for restructuring the Eurobond debt. Now, this was reviewed by the Official Creditor Committee after the commercial creditors announced the deal with government. Details in this report.
The move by the external creditors was to ensure that whatever terms that government has extended to Eurobond holders is the same as the bilateral creditors. This is to ensure that no one is shortchanged when it comes to this debt restructuring for external creditors. The Official Creditor Committee is the platform which brings together all bilateral countries. The committee in the coming days will be meeting to review the terms that Government of Ghana has extended to these commercial creditors. But for many, what could be the impact of this move by the Official Creditor Committee on the Eurobond deal going forward? That is, if the Official Creditor Committee also raises some concerns about the deal, could the process be scuttled or affected?
And that is a Business Desk report. Now, industries want to deal with the Eurobond holders to help turn around the drilling fortunes of the Ghana cedi and use savings on critical sectors of the economy. Government last week reached agreement with the commercial creditors to restructure some $13.1 billion. Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam has already announced that the country could be saving $10 billion. Chuna Makpelu is Greater Accra President of the Association of Ghana Industries.
With this particular activity, the hope is the city is stabilized for some time, which is really what we need at this moment. But above that, we would like to see how the consistency of the stability, right? Because we are getting to December in a couple of months, and also we are going to have elections and Christmas and all of that. How sure are we that the CD will continue. We can ensure that this activity would allow the CD to be stabilized into at least the next 6 months or to the next 1 year. And our view is still the case that we believe that we have to increase export. We have to ensure that the local industries are equipped, at least in immediate terms, to be able to export. And things like importation of poultry and all of these things that we can produce here should be seized with immediate effect. We need to rather bring in dollars, not take out dollars.
Chona Makpelu is the Greater Accra Regional President of the Association of Ghana Industries. Now, manufacturing giant Unilever Ghana has revealed that it remains fairly optimistic about the economy picking up strongly and the impact on these operations going forward. IMF, World Bank, and several independent agencies have all projected about some exciting times for the economy. Chris Rufsiza is managing director in Unilever Ghana and has been responding to a question posed by Joy Business when the company took its turn at the Ghana Stock Exchange Facts Behind the Figures session program today.
I think for us as a business, we are here, we believe that the operating environment must be feasible for businesses to thrive. So we are very open and expectant on anything that opens up the market and makes the economy grow and puts money into consumers' pockets, so that from our business point of view, we are able to deliver a mandate of delivering, of getting products and our brands into consumers' home at a price which they can afford. So yes, are we expectant? Yes, we are. We believe that it is good for everybody if the economy of Ghana is running in the right direction.
Managing Director of Unilever Ghana, Chris Rufsiza. Now, Zunda Tech Ghana has announced the commissioning of an automotive assembling plant in the country in August 2024. Now, this forms part of the company's resolve to support government's agenda of making Ghana an automotive hub. Chief Executive of the company, Yang Yan, explained that the company continues to train hundreds of youth to offer technical services. He spoke to Joy Business on the launch of the GWM Tank 300 luxurious cars countryside vehicle and the GWM Power Pickup brands.
We already have a training center in Zonda. Every time we train 150 Ghanaians. Like for the past 5 years, Zonda has been continuously training every year 4 times in Tema and in Kumasi for the drivers for free, the safe driving. So now, from February of this month, our factory engineers has come to Ghana. We have been training Ghanaian engineers for over 3 months. Then they go back, they take our engineers back to China for training again. Now they're coming back to Ghana to do training again. So it's a continuous training for Ghanaians.
Yang Yang is the Chief Executive of Zunda Tech Ghana Limited. And that's all for business on the Newsnight. Back to you, Evans.
Thank you very much, George. We are still counting down to that game, which is just about starting between England and
Slovenia.
Slovenia, of course, coming up here on Newsnight. But I want to take it to Parliament brief because something happened today in Parliament that many have been talking about. I am talking about the announcement today that a man you know very well has decided that he went to Hajj and must be acknowledged as such. We'll bring you what happened in Parliament pretty shortly on that particular issue. Ms. Bao will also join us with the latest from the world of sports, particularly that game that we're all looking forward to. But before I tell you about the minister in question who was on the floor of Parliament talking about acknowledging that he indeed has returned from Hajj, the Majority Leader Alexander Fenyomarking says the NDC minority in Parliament have shown that they are opposed to the proposed free SHS bill. The legislation is expected to codify the policy into law and tie all successive governments to its implementation. He's been addressing a news conference today.
We have heard the ranking member on education, the Honorable Member for Akati North, strongly opposing the free SHS bill. Clearly, the NDC minority does not want to commit itself
to free SHS and the fact that we want to enact a law to make it mandatory, we have stated time without number that those provisions in the Constitution that talk about free SHS are very aspirational. They are aspirational provisions. So the way to go is to enact a law to regulate the free SHS policy which is currently in operation. The NDC is opposed to this, and they have spoken through their ranking member. We want them to tell Ghanaians whether free SHS is not their priority as a responsible opposition.
And that day is Alexander Fenyo marking, addressing a news conference earlier today, and we are counting down now to the Impact Makers Awards later today. Now, they are not your everyday politicians, business tycoons, or headline newsmakers. That's notwithstanding. In their small corners, they are sacrificing their meager resources to make life better for their community members. It is for this level of dedication to selfless passion for development and the hunger to cause change that Joy News introduced the Impact Makers Awards to recognize and celebrate efforts of extraordinary individuals. The Joy News Impact Makers Awards celebrates selfless individuals dedicated to community development. This year, you want to join us on Saturday. 10 nominees will be honored at the Accra International Conference Center, receiving plaques and cash prizes to expand their impactful projects. Among them is Samuel Nana Bekai, who has transformed lives in the Upper East region of Ghana.
The fact that children are the future leaders of tomorrow, and the children are the treasured ones. And Haven of Love is about young people who have come together because of the love of Christ, and we're making changes in our community. We may not have the financial resources, but we have the human resources. So we use our expertise. So we have doctors in our team, we have lawyers, we have teachers, we have a lot of other professions. People use their professions to make impact. So some of the projects we do are surgeries, health programs, screenings, vaccinations, drilling of boreholes, STEM projects, parental guidance, educational projects, climate change project, planting of trees, environmental protection, and the likes. The Joy News Impact Makers Award. It will go a long way to open more doors for collaborations, for partnerships, for mentorship, so that we can be built to come back to the rural communities, which is our main focus area, and make more impact.
Well, Eunice Japon is an educationist, also a nominee.
I'm a teacher by profession. I was posted a year after service. I was posted to the community, which they have not started. Officially, the school wasn't open. So I went to speak to the assemblyman, and he informed me that yes, there's no school, but due to the nature of the road, vehicles knocked the case here and there, so the town decided they want a school. So they have started constructing it, but it's not yet ready. So if we want to start, then we should start this academic year. That was what he said. I wasn't discouraged knowing there is no school, but rather I felt something must be done.
It's a great initiative that will inspire young people, that is the youth, to make impact in their communities, and I think it's a great initiative they are doing.
And you don't want to miss the grand finale. It is this Saturday. The Joy Impact Makers Awards is coming up on Saturday. They're going to be live here across our networks. And Johnny Maismith Bao has sports, and I'm looking at that game right behind you. And I fear for Gary Southgate if they play badly again. You know the way they will slaughter him.
Yeah, he's going to be under real pressure. For this game, they need to win it to top the group, but based on the standards now, they've already qualified to the round of 16. Just need to top the group. But before we even come to that, the National Sports Authority they've refuted claims that sanctioned the use of the Boteman Sports Complex for church activities. Now, earlier in the week, a video surfaced on X which showed church banners mounted in the multipurpose hall of the complex. However, in a statement signed by the Deputy Director of the authority, Majid Bawa, the NSA denied the allegation, explaining that students seen in the viral video were there on a facility tour and a lecture afterwards, and were only seated in the video waiting for a lecture by the Deputy Minister. So that's the reaction from the National Sports Authority to the Euros now. And Austria produced a hugely impressive performance that will make others take notice as they beat the Netherlands to progress to the last 16 as Group D winners, despite being handed a tough draw with the Dutch there. Now, they managed to pull off a thrilling 3-2 win over the Netherlands thanks to a late goal for Marcel Sabitzer. Rafrag and his side finished on top of Group D with 6 points from 3 games, which seemed unthinkable at the beginning of the tournament. They finished above 2018 World Champions France, who settled for second place after 1-1 draw with Poland. The Netherlands finished third with 4 points. Now, England, however, they will be playing Slovenia in just some minutes from now, and their coach Southgate has made just one change from the side that drew 1-1 with Denmark, dropping Trent Alexander-Arnold to the bench and picking Conor Gallagher in the starter lineup. So we wait to see how they fare, and this follows criticism from fans and pundits after Southgate, used Arnold in that defensive midfielder role, which is uncharacteristic of the player. So we'll see how England fares tonight, hoping to win to top the group. Evans, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Bao. Now, the Islamic holy sites of Hajj has just ended, and a new badge of Hajis and Hajjas have been minted, including the, as you know, MP for Adansia Sokwa and Minister for Trade and Industry, KATH Hammond. Well, the MP and Minister was fuming at his whip for not announcing that in Parliament today that he's just arrived from Saudi Arabia. He's also charged the clerk of Parliament to ensure that his new title as an Haji reflects on how his name is captured in the official documents in Parliament.
I lost my voice, but I lost it. But I am told that the news it already preceded my attendance in Parliament. That it was announced. Is that true? The news of where we have been. Have you not announced it? You have not announced it. You have or you have not. Mr. Speaker, has it not been announced that there are new allergies in this chamber? He hasn't announced that. I don't know why. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, I want it recorded properly. That, Mr. Speaker, we have new allergies. I went with him, that is why, Mr. Speaker, on my arrival, I've developed this. But those who, well, you don't know. Sit down. Young guy, when we talk about market matters, you don't talk about out of order business. Would you resume your seat? Thank you. Mr. Speaker, that's for the information of the House. The records would accordingly, Mr. Clark, should reflect the new names. Al-Hajj, you should make sure that it's properly reflected.
Well, so that's Al-Haji Kwabena Tahiru Hammond and Dansia Sokwa MP, freshest, latest.
And I'm curious, has he got the golden?
We have to check. I'm sure that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing KATH Hammond. Sorry, KATH Hammond.
It must reflect in everything you do.
Yeah.
Latest allergy. Well, let's check on the National Science and Maths quiz before we head out. And 6 times finalist and 1-time champion at Disado College have another opportunity to take a shot at the national trophy. Well, James Aveji has more from Cape Coast.
They say they shall never be beaten, and that is what they just did to 2 other schools at this school. The Santa Clausians, the Zebras, they have just won with 53, and they look very, very happy, just as expected.
This year we expect more, because for this year we don't care about Protect, we don't care about Protect, we don't care about any school. This time we are bringing the trophy to Santaland.
You may not care about Prempe, but you'll be in competition with them. They are likely to take you out. What is the message?
Our preparation is very much better. Who is Pempe? I want to ask, who is Pempe? We are the college. The only college in Ghana. Adisado College, not Pempe College. We are just college. We are the only college in Ghana. We are bringing a trophy to Adisado. The trophy is coming back.
Presec is also listening. They said they are coming for the 9th trophy.
Tell them what is a Santa. What is a Santa?
We'll see how that goes. Thank you so much. My name is James Savaji for Joy News.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Let's go to Kenya very briefly.
And 5 persons have been killed. Part of parliament has been set ablaze while some MPs seek shelter in the basement. And there's also a sharp drop in internet availability and massive destruction of properties. Well, that's a summary of events in Kenya following the weeks of protests over a finance bill passed by parliament that proposes tax rises. There are live updates on this situation, and the former president of Kenya has been talking about this situation. And also he says that they should listen to the mandate of the people. And also President Ruto himself says today's events were treasonous. Amongst others, it looks like a lot is happening in Kenya. And bread is being taxed.
Oh, yes. I mean, that was one of the proposed pieces of legislation that eventually they've had to withdraw. They're going to impose taxes on the sales of bread, also cooking oil, and others.
And the talk on social media is that Ghana, we are good, Charlie. Yeah. Okay, well, let's do Geek Squad. Edubia is here.
Good evening.
What are we talking about tonight, sweetheart?
In our ever-evolving tech world, we want to talk about what people will have to look out for when they want to buy a television, because it's one of the tech devices that is very essential in our homes. So that will be our discussion for tonight.
Can't wait.
Especially now that you can, the voice command. Oh, you know that voice command thing?
The 85-inch television owners are speaking on.
85 inches,
It's gone.
Okay,
he has a theater in his home, so.
Okay,
let's get out of here. It's okay. Let's go when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Geek Squad. Yeah.